me great pleasure to bring you the final session of the day, which is using your own TV station to become a celebrity in your market. In what, 45 minutes?
Or less.
You said 2.5 hours, and I'm doing 2.5 hours.
Whatever you need. We have.
We'll keep talking.
Listen, if you know anything about me, I listen to myself all the time, so it's no problem.
So annoying.
So we have for you today Brian Offner and Jean Volpe. Brian is an entrepreneur, an investor, a philanthropist, and most importantly, a family man.
Aww.
True.
He has no wife or kids, but he's a family man.
Just always looking for a family. If you have one, let me know. Adopt me.
He operates multiple business verticals within the real estate space, and he's passionate about helping other entrepreneurs and acquiring knowledge.
That's why we're here.
Jean Volpe is the founder of GVI Media, formerly Your Real Estate Concierge. He's a speaker and a national marketing expert. He has 14 plus years of experience in the marketing space. He is well versed in the real estate field, including buying, selling, renting, marketing, and consulting on over 200 real estate transactions. He is a brand establishment and subconscious marketing devotee. I need to know a little bit more about that.
Which part of it? Which part?
It's just a big word he made up.
Subconscious marketing?
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
Listen,
we'll talk about it here a little bit.
Listen, you remember? Do you remember?
Batman.
No, remember Costanza?
Oh, yeah.
That's what that is.
Okay, got
When I leave, you're still thinking about it. Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. He is a social media and video expert. Before becoming a digital architect, he served as a decorated technology manager for a Fortune 15 company.
Who wrote that?
I don't know. It wasn't me.
She said you're doing good. You did a great job. You did a great job. You did a great job.
Anyway, without further ado.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So this is super serious for the next 3.5 hours, like we said. All right, super serious. I think we're gonna have a little bit of fun. We'll just jump in. I know everybody's gonna get out of here in 7 minutes to pick up their kids, right? I got kids too, but I'm here. I'm just teasing.
They drive.
I'm only teasing. So real quick, before we get into it, let's really tell you who we actually are, right? So I'm Jean Volpe. I'm the guy on the left, right? And you're going to learn very quickly. He's the brains of the operation. I'm the beauty. That's why we're so successful, right? And you're the learn.
You're the lunch.
And I'm the lunch and the lunch and learn. So if we ever come out to one of your places, I'll be eating, he'll be teaching. That's how that works, okay? You can probably tell.
That's that's happy hour.
COVID-29's happy hour.
Yeah, that's the happy hour.
So Brian and I actually run business development for a local mortgage team. That's not why we're here, but we got connected a couple years back through that space. We've grown a couple businesses together. We run a company called the Community Connect Group, which is us helping people get exposure in their community, right? And that's kind of where we came up with this concept about building your own TV station that we're going to go through in the next 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it ends up being. So... Can I have something, man?
This is suspect as hell too. So
Listen. Oh, next thing I'm going to hear is, "Why is your beard so dark?" Right?
Well, who made these avatars? Who had them made?
I did. Fair enough. Of course, I did. I think you can see one of the things that we like to do. You're going to hear us talk a lot about giving with no expectation of receiving. Brian and I, one of our favorite things to do is to go into a space with people, and when we leave, they go, "What the hell just happened?" And we don't know what just happened, but we got some good stuff, and we had a lot of fun. So that's kind of how we like to leave a room. That's what we're going to do, and we take ourselves super seriously, as you could probably tell, right? So no, we have a lot of fun, and we enjoy what we do, and one of the things I think we do very well is we help get in space with other business owners, including real estate agents and broker and loan officers, and help them get more exposure. Because our goal here is more exposure for you means more conversation. And if you're good at sales, more conversation means more chances for more money, right? So that's what this is all about. We've gone through this a couple times. We've had reports drawn where it's 87 pages of, how many insights and likes and all this stuff. And I know in most space, that overwhelms a lot of people. If I handed you a report on how your social media is doing and it was 72 pages long, you'd probably go, "Oh," and then throw it out. So our job is to get you more inbox messages, more text messages, more phone calls. And when stuff like that's happening and you're good at it and at what you do, you're just going to make more commissions and more friends. That's how it works. So I'm going to introduce this guy right here. He's my right hand, literally my right hand guy. We actually complement each other very well. He's good at certain things. I'm decent at others. He has a book, which are we going to give some copies away?
Okay, yeah, I brought some.
Oh, we got a couple books that he wrote called Beyond Existing. We'll get into that towards the end, so we'll have a couple copies for people. And then why don't you tell people about me real quick? I'd love to hear this. I always love hearing this.
This is awkward. But Gene and I met, like I said, years ago at a KW office. I was helping realtors do video, so I was creating content. He's there taking headshots. I was like, what do you do? And he's like, I have a company that focuses on content distribution. I help realtors push their social media content. I'm like, well, I started a company to help realtors capture that video and help them. So we do complement each other from day one when we met. I don't know if Gene talked about it. He's also on a national podcast called Real Estate Uncensored. He's known as the Evil Bald Ninja on that podcast. It gets over 40,000 downloads an episode. So there's realtors all over the country that when we're on Zoom calls and talking about Gene, there's been plenty of times we've been on calls and they're like, wait, you're the Evil Bald Ninja. So we have a good footprint. The Community Connect is on that platform as well. So we do help people all over the country. From
Craig McDaniel, yeah.
Yeah, McDaniel.
I did one with him. I didn't know you were part of that.
Oh, yeah.
Real Estate Uncensored.
Yeah.
Yep, you'll find it.
Wednesdays and Fridays, Gene's on. They'll have me on as a guest. You'll see every now and then I pop on just to add some
flavor.
So different angle. But so we've been in the real estate space. 2019, I got my real estate license because of some of the stuff Gene and I have been doing in the marketplace with helping realtors grow their business. I tested it in my own market, and the leads obviously started coming in so much so that I was like, I should probably do this, which we did. So we'll teach you all of those things as well. Gene's focus obviously is helps you with your digital footprint, and we'll get into all that. It's basically the geeky stuff. He's like really good at the geeky stuff. And we're really good at the front end, putting you out there, getting your brand out there. But yeah, we'll jump into it and talk a little bit about what it means to create your channel. I want you guys, to think about it as like hyper local, right? We're going to talk about your community, your town, and this is what I would tell the seasoned agents that we work with. We work some $40, $100 million teams, and we give this advice, and I would give the new agent the same advice. If you're starting at zero every month mentally, and I got to go create 5 to 6 deals, what would I do? And it's completely what we're talking. Here's another thing real quick. No one cares you're a realtor, just so you know. Like on your social media, Facebook, Instagram, no one cares you're a realtor until they need a realtor, right? So I don't need the selfie at the closing table. Like, when's the last time your dentist said, hold on, I want to take a selfie? Like, root canal, who's next? And they post it on social media. You won't see that with the dentist doing it. But as realtors, we understand you're the brand, right? So it's tricky. It's definitely trickier to market yourself, because if I just see real estate, new sign in the yard, hey, I got a fresh sign, I got a new yard I need for my new sign. Stop. No one gives a shit about that. The only people liking that are other realtors, and they're not your next client. So I'm not going to say stop doing it, but I'm going to show you some other stuff that will keep those people engaged in your social media so that when they do need you, you're still in front of them and they didn't unfollow you because all you talk about is real estate. And we'll get into talking about people that know you, and then more importantly, strangers have your money, and we're going to talk about how to get in front of a bunch of strangers. That's a part of the. So
2 things I want to put on that, right? So one is, how many people in this room plan to be in real estate for the next year? Right? Everybody. That's sort of a stupid question. Everybody. I hope so, right? Or you wouldn't be here. I can tell 6 months tops. It's getting old real quick, right? I feel you. But here's the thing. You're going to be doing business with somebody in a year. You don't know it yet. They don't know it yet, right? For the most part, they're probably in a space where they're not going to look at your content right now. They don't care about real estate. They don't care about mortgage rates are high because they have no intention of buying or downsizing or selling, right? At some point from now until next year, a change is going to happen. They're going to have another baby. They're going to be laid off at work. Something's going to happen. And they're going to go, I need a real estate agent. If we're 8 months out, how are they thinking about you, right? If you were here for the 9:30 session, or 10:30 session, I should say, you heard me talk about attention span. You heard Craig talk about attention span. It's recorded in studies at 7 seconds for humans. I argue it's more like 4. So if you are not in front of me in the next 3.5 seconds, I already forgot about you, right? So we got to put you in a space that People come to you and they follow your content and they like you moving forward so that a year from now when we're downsizing. All right, I see this guy Brian all the time. He's doing local things in my area. I've been watching his content. Let's give him a call and see if he can come out. And we're going to actually show you real world messages inside of our inbox on Facebook of people asking to do business with us because of this scenario. We're going to show this to you, okay? You ready? You sure? Are you in a hurry too? You are. Jeez, somebody's making money. So imagine a space like ESPN. We're sports guys, right? You saw that earlier too. Imagine if you created your own channel and your own shows and you controlled all the marketing on that channel, right? So for me, I watch the Scott Van Pelt show pretty much every night, which is one of the main guys on ESPN at 11 o'clock. That's after all the games have settled. That's what I tune in on. So while I'm watching that show, they run commercials. I'm willingly watching those commercials because they're being played while I'm watching the show that I want to watch. There's other shows on ESPN that I'll watch from time to time. For the most part, I don't pay too much attention. I tune in to Scott's page. Well, imagine if you had your own television station on Facebook. So we created this concept called the best of, right? And what we did is we create our own personal TV channel where your content will be distributed and your audience will be watching. So we're going to generate daily content, and we're going to explain the video piece of this in a little bit because we're going to get in front of business owners and we're going to cheat and get our information and content out in front of their people, right? And so what we're going to do is create this channel and then create the content by giving back to their world, right? I feel like that's something's missing there. Something didn't pop up.
Is it on your screen, on your computer?
Yeah, there's something that didn't pop up.
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck that was. Oh, it must be pictures. So that's what they were. It was the best of Quakertown and the best of Westchester.
Okay.
So I pulled the banners off two of the pages we're doing. If you want references on Facebook, search for the best of Westchester or the best of Quakertown. Mine's the best of Westchester. He's the best of Quakertown. And you'll see it's an orange ribbon in the picture with a QR code. And you'll see it at the end of this.
Yeah,
right?
I think it'll probably be in here some more too.
Right. So what we want to do is first we want to set up the page. And if you guys need help with that, it's super simple. It's basically a business or community page you set up. In my case, like for example, if you guys are familiar with Westchester at all, you know the University of Westchester? There's a giant ram out in front of the University of Westchester. So that's my banner. It says Best of Westchester, it's the ram. So if you live in that area, you look at it and you go, oh my God, it's my backyard. Yeah, I know this page. For the most part, people don't want to like your real estate page. If you have a business page, it's super hard, and I've been doing this for a long time. It's very hard to get people to like your real estate page because they don't care about real estate unless they're your mother or your son, hopefully, right? It's just difficult to do.
They still don't care.
But, yeah, in most cases they still don't care, but they'll like it, right? And then hide you in their feed. You don't know it, but they hide you. But imagine a space where you grew up, or your wife grew up, or your kids go to school, or you live currently, or you came from. In my world, I love craft beer, I love wine, I love good food, I love music. Westchester is a vibrant town. So when that gets posted, people come out of the woodwork to go, my kids go to school here and I want to see the next restaurant that goes on. Like, now I'm following that content. We find weird things that happen. Like, are you guys familiar with the Sunoco pipeline? Yeah. Okay, so the Sunoco pipeline is taking gas. They're fracking up in the Poconos and taking the gas down to the Sunoco refinery by the stadiums, right? They're running that right under where my kids went to school. You think the people in that neighborhood aren't up in arms about it? So what do when I see a news special on Channel 10? I go, hey guys, public service announcement about the pipeline they're digging under our schools. Check it out. I get 4,000 views without blinking. Because that's where I live, man. I want to know what's going on in the area I live. So we're going to take that and sort of exploit it. So you got to build the page first. And when I say exploit, I mean in a good way. It's not a negative thing, right? It's got a negative connotation. That's not what I mean. But so what we're going to do is we're going to gather steam. We're going to build the page first, and then we got to bring people to the page, right?
Yeah, so so imagine we'll use Doylestown, right? Best of Doylestown page, right? So you just went and created Best of Doylestown page, and now you got to attract people to this page. Well, you don't have anything on the page yet to reel people in other than Best of Doylestown. I live in Doylestown. I want to know what the best thing about Doylestown is. So I do a video, and I coach people to do the video. The initial video, hey, Brian Offner here from Best of Doylestown. Just wanted you guys to, share with you guys some of the best restaurants, some of the best things going on in our community. Feel free to like the page, and in the comments below, please let us know of any businesses that you think we should spotlight, that you think is the best of Doylestown. You guys need content, you need business owners that you need to talk to, you will. Guess what? The community will give you all of those people. So When you want to go through it, invite all your friends first. So you create the page, invite every person through your list that you know is in and around Doylestown, right? You do the advertise, do a little Facebook ad spend where you could do a little 10-mile radius around Doylestown and just do a $50 spend. It'll start driving people to that. You post your page, do a little boost of your video, you'll start getting followers. I would say normally you could get to 200 to 300 followers pretty quickly by doing this strategy. And then as you start spotlighting other businesses, you'll see it'll just start taking on a life of its own. So here's my secret sauce. You want to grow your real estate business? Go spotlight other businesses, right? Why would I do that? Well, there's a term that I use a lot. I talk about it in the book. It's like karmatic deposits, right? So if you understand the idea that like, I'm going to go help somebody else and I know I'm doing good in the community, it's going to come back to me. Well, how does that come back to me? How exactly, if you're like an ROI person, how does it come back to me? Well, I spotlighted the West End in Quakertown. I met MJ and Jeff, the owners of that bar. It's a huge bar, a sports bar. And I went in there, we spotlighted their business, I put it on the page. We go in, and I go back to these places. So I did a happy hour there, talking to MJ and Jeff. They're talking about investments. I talk about the Poconos. I have a house up there. I invest in the Poconos. 2 months later, I have them under contract, $500,000 house in the Poconos, Airbnb in it. They're killing it, right? That conversation never happens if I don't go in and say, hey, I want to help you grow your business. I'm going to take my network of people and share your business. Oh, yeah, and by the way, if you know someone looking to buy, sell, or invest, you just mind if you share my info? They're going to say yes, and you don't even have to ask. I promise you that just comes around. Utilizing other audiences. So if you notice, my name on our podcast is Captain Link Juice. That link juice is a term in social media between linking two networks. I like linking it in the physical sense, so you have the social sense where you're online, and then I can go to businesses that I know have a huge social media following. So I look at their Facebook page, they got 2,000 followers, right? I'm gonna go spotlight that business. I'm creating a link juice between my business and theirs. So I'm going, spotlighting, the butcher and the barkeep. I build a relationship with the owner. I've shared this video on the best of page. They share it on their page. What happens? All of their people like that video. Then I can go in, click on that video, and invite all those people that liked it to like the best of Doylestown. It's an organic way to grow your audience. And I boost some of the posts, like we'll boost them to get a couple, you could boost it for like literally $25 and you're grabbing a huge audience of people to start liking and seeing all your videos. And I'll talk to you a little bit about how that translates into referrals. This is all Facebook. Yeah, you could drop your whole series on YouTube. So every video that you do, think of it this way, YouTube is strangers. I'm not finding you on YouTube unless I'm searching for specifically what you're talking about, like relocating to Doylestown. And then if we tag these videos properly, your videos will 100% pop up in that feed as a realtor that's spotlighting all the businesses around Doylestown. We'll get into that. This is specifically how to leverage Facebook to create those videos that we can move over to YouTube, but to dominate your local community to the point where you should be able to walk into any restaurant, any hair salon, barbershop, whatever, and they should know who you are. And then you have to fight to pay them for whatever you're doing.
He's saying that because when we go, I'll go to his office on Mondays up in Trumbullsville, and when we go out to lunch, he's always fighting people. They're like, Fino's Pizza, right?
Yeah,
So Fino's was run by this 23-year-old young kid that was hustling, and he was in there talking to him, and he's like, what's going on? And he was like, I've made 100% of the pizzas since I bought this place a year ago.
He made every pizza,
right?
Every pie.
Every single one. He said, I'm tired and I can't find anybody to work. It was like, this was 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Give or take? So Brian goes, I'll help you out. Let's do a quick video. We'll throw it on a best of. He had 4 people lined up to take his job. You think that dude is not charging him money for pizzas anymore, right? Of course, he still pays it.
Yeah,
but
that's not
that
why
guy's
we do it, but you could see that.
They know him, right?
So is this your Facebook page or a Facebook page called the Best of Doylestown?
You're going to create, in a perfect world, you're going to create your own and control it. So it's the best of whatever you want.
No, I know, but I'm just asking, is that it could be 4 other agents who end up doing the same thing?
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Their eyeballs are all going to be different. You're going to capture different people. First of all, I can tell you this. I'd be willing to bet a lot of money.
Me too.
That there aren't 4 people in here that are going to do it, let alone 4 people that would do the same thing. I'd be willing to bet all yous.
But you start a new Facebook account account, or you?
No. Just right off of your main Facebook, just go and add a page, right? You can add a page, call it best of whatever, and now that page is housed underneath of your Facebook page. And then let's say, like, it's under your pages. Like I have like 17 of them I have created. So
and listen, if you guys are stuck on that element of it, we can
we'll
just sign up for a 30-minute call with us. There's no fees or anything. Just we'll get on a call. It'll literally take my team 7 minutes to set that up. We'll get that stuff going for you. Don't let that be the barrier to entry, right? This is something that you want to build. You'll see it work, right? So now that we have that built, we want to build out good content. So it's just not about the television shows. It's about the control that we hold as it pertains to the advertisements. What do I mean by that? Well, look, how many real estate agents in here have 3 favorite contractors? Everybody does, right? For the most part, maybe 2, right? How about painters? How about title agencies? How about mortgage brokers? How about, I can go on for the next 6 hours, right? Why wouldn't you give them top billing on your space? You can take that advertising and say, this is Brian, he does work with Annie Mac Community Mortgage Team. If you're interested in getting a mortgage, you could do it in a video, you could do it in sharing his pieces if he has an event, you can do whatever. So this is your space. So as you create these commercials, which are the best of videos, right, that you're doing with business owners, there's other content that you're going to sporadically spray across these things. Remember, the algorithm wants to see you posting. So it can't just be single videos once a week. It's going to be single videos once a week, but all this other stuff here too, right?
Yeah, and if this school info, like if you guys have any connections to the school board, principals, and you went, like we did it in Quakertown, we interviewed some of the principals, like that's your into the schools. And if you have kids in the school and you get a hold of the list and invite everyone, there's this little kid in my son's pre-K class that says, my mom was watching on your phone. And the teacher like looked at like, what the hell is he talking about? Lincoln, this kid's awesome. He pounds me, we high five every time I see him. But he's like, yesterday he was like, what do you do again? I'm like, real estate marketing. He's like, because apparently his mom watches me on her phone and the kid knows it. So I'm like, that's solid. And the
super
I had to
awkward.
explain it to the teacher why this kid's mom.
Yeah, well, we don't know for sure. Nobody knows what video he's watching.
So the point being, if you're, I said earlier, strangers have your money. Like that's, if you guys follow Grant Cardone or like get on some Gary Vee stuff or Grant Cardone's, I don't necessarily love Grant, but I love the concept of strangers have your money. So I had thought of this analogy today driving. I go to the cardiologist. I had heart surgery when I was 5. My cardiologist is an older gentleman. And I'm like, I'm thinking like, all right, in real estate, it's the same thing. Like we're competing. Everyone wants that realtor or that person that like still has that like fire in them, like that little edge. Like, hey, you're on these platforms where I'm at. My cardiologist is not on any of the platforms where I'm at, right? So I'm starting to feel like, man, there's probably some 30 and 40-year-old cardiologists who are like up on everything. And in my brain, it's like, yeah, real estate's real estate, right? Well, yeah, but you get to choose who you work with. Am I in the spaces where the people that I can relate to are at? And I can tell you right now, I'm like, maybe I should switch my cardiologist to someone who still has that fire in them, and still is hungry to learn more stuff about cardiology, as opposed to my guy who already retired and then came out of retirement. I'm like, he's not doing it, he's not. So the point of this is when you do this, you are pushing out into it that this is what I do. I'm not, they don't have to question it. Are they a part-time realtor? Are you still in the business? Like local and all over. If you stay local and all over the place, we say it's the dude, you're everywhere, or man, you're everywhere. Like that's what you want. You want people to be like, man, I'm seeing you everywhere. Like, how do you have the time? Well, it's not that hard. That's the other thing that like, it's like anything else, like going to the gym, right? In theory, it's not hard, but if you show up and go to the gym and you stack 4 days in a row, you're going to go, I feel better, right? Are you going to get all the results in 4 days? No, right? You go again. Next thing you know, a month goes by, 2 months goes by. This is exactly like the gym. You're going to start seeing results and you're going to get excited and you're going to go harder. And you're going to go harder. And next thing you know, you're a gym person, right? Social media is no different. You can't say you're a social media person and you're all in if you kind of half-ass just dabble your feet in it. You got to go in. And it's not as painful as the gym, believe me. It's just, you got to get into a rhythm of doing it. And we'll walk you through exactly what those steps look like.
So I was going to I don't know if, these are a couple examples. You'll see, this is one of the, Brian's, this is actually pretty funny. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Let's see.
Quakertown, we are downtown.
There you go.
Right next
This is an example of one of the best of Quakertown videos.
This place is super nostalgia. They've got new stuff, old stuff. Let's go in and talk to Tweak and see what it's
His
all
name
about.
was Tweak. Yeah, and his name is Tweak.
I
Yeah.
am here with
It's exactly who you would think would own a game show. So, I don't want to bore you with these things because you probably don't know where these things are, but you get an idea to the flow.
You have kids, put your kids in it. Like,
Here at the Charlie Barn, we're gonna go check out some of the small businesses that are operating in there. I'm here with my partner, Alina Offner. We're gonna head in and check it out. Come join us if you haven't been here yet. It's a must. The place is awesome. Let's go check it out.
what's that?
Cheating using the dog.
It is cheating.
It is totally cheating.
Got it. I'm not
Right?
total cheating.
Do it every time.
Got it. She's working on scripts now. We got
Hey,
her.
this is Trevor Williams with the Best of Westchester and Vanguard. Evolved into a catering business.
I mean, you can see listen, they're fairly simple. That one with Trevor, I actually filmed and edited myself. These two, he's in front of the camera. He's got his camera girl, Brinley, who does it, and then she edits it. So it's not rocket science. It doesn't cost $1 million. The first ones didn't look that good, and the next ones will look better.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too. Like this company. So I go to a listing appointment, right? This couple, we didn't even know they owned the Lehigh Valley Hot Air. It's $1 million listing that we got off of Facebook. Somebody hit us up. I went, met with them, and I'm like, they had this largest, like 8,000 people were coming to this hot air balloon event, and I'm like, I'll spotlight that for you. Like, I'll push it this week. So we went out, got some B-roll footage from last year's, put together a video. I dropped it on Best of Quakertown, fired off a bunch of stuff, got some free flyers. We had a Quakertown Alive event where we had a table set up for this massage company. So I was like, yo, we're going to add some of their flyers at the massage table. Like, we're just thinking, like, how can we help other businesses? They want to buy land, so we're helping them buy land to build another $800,000 house on. This is one of our listings. I think this might be my flip. But like, we just took like a property we had in Quakertown, drop it on the page real quick. So you're constantly just looking for ways to just put content out there. Like, yeah, maybe you came for the hot air balloon and you didn't know you needed a massage, and then, oh, there's a house available. Like, here's the thing. Think of it like this, like good content, right? So you got like good content, I'm a realtor, as opposed to I'm a realtor, I never saw your content. I promise you. We never made it to the good stuff. So lead with the good stuff, and then the subtlety of like, oh yeah, and by the way, I barely ever talk about real estate. I don't lead with Brian Offner, a realtor here in Quakertown. Like, I don't do that. I want it to be like, oh, you're a realtor too? Yeah, I can help you. That's what I do. I help other small businesses, and we help people buy, sell, or invest in our area. We hyper local, so anything you need, we can help you with. Ancillary, like, we don't lead with it. So a lot of people are like, well, should I do this on my realtor page? It will never work. It won't work because no one wants to go there. So this is why I say when I talk to new agents or seasoned agents, they go, oh, we got to go create a different page, and we're not even talking about real estate, and that's going to help me grow my real estate business? 100%. All right, that's the tough part to kind of do the mental shift on.
So now who do we go after, right? Now that we have this concept down, we're starting to talk about different elements of editing and shooting the video and trying to figure out if our phones are good enough for it, which they are. What kind of equipment do I need? We can get you in a space for under $100. It's real simple stuff, right? We're going to choose our guests. Who do we go talk to, right? And we're going to cheat. Who said cheat before? Using your daughter's cheating. Who said that? Well,
Craig.
Yeah. It's 100% cheating, and that's what we're doing in a good way. So when we go and choose our guests, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to create a list. I was talking to somebody. I forget who it was, maybe Teresa. And I said, when you go out and you interview people, you're going to interview somebody that has 3 followers on their page, or do you want to interview somebody that has 33,000 followers on their page? So we're going to go out and make a list of all this is what we would do if we consult with you. I know as a real estate agent in your area, you probably know some business owners, yes? Okay.
Yes.
List those 10 people out. And then let's go out and look and see who's got the most reach. And then we call them and we go, hey, we want to spotlight you. You in? And they go, yeah, why not? Nobody. We've had 2 no's, maybe. Right?
I've only had 1 no from the owner who then shuffled one of the people in and said, I don't want to be on camera.
They don't want to be on camera.
Let's have somebody else from the team be on camera. And yeah, so you're not.
The biggest thing we get here is the what's in it for me, what's in it for you thing. Like, we were literally doing an event in Florida, and we had a Coldwell Banker broker there. And she was like, what do you get out of it? And I'm like, I get to help you, and then you're going to promote my stuff online. And she's like, but what do you really get out of it? And we did this for 15 minutes, and I was like, okay, I run an Herbalife business. Would you be in my downline? And she was like, no, you don't. And I was like, I know I don't. You just asked me to make something up because you don't believe I'm just trying to help you, right? So we finally got through that. But we're going to cherry pick our friends and our guests, especially the ones with the biggest audiences, because here's what happens. Hey, I'm going to do a video and spotlight your business. You good with that?
Yeah.
Hey, when we're done, would you share it to your circle?
Absolutely.
Too? Who's going to say no?
And
to
here's
that,
the
right?
other thing about interviewing them. Hey, this is basically the interview. Hey, I'm here with Gene Volpe from GVI Media. Gene, tell us a little bit about your company. And you just shut up and let them talk. And they go, oh, great. How long you been in town? Shut up. Let them talk. All right, great. What's your favorite dish? Shut up. Let them talk. Yep. So if you have any head trash about being on camera, I promise you everyone already knows what you look like. They already know what you sound like, so it's your own head trash. Our video division has this thing called FISI. It's basically F it, send it. Like if you watch the video and you're like, but my hair, but my blah, blah, like we just say F it, send it. Like you're not the person we're trying to market to. You're in the video. I promise you, just send it out there and let the audience engage with it. Like
I have a different way to say it. If you're ugly on camera, you're probably ugly in person.
He's a little more honest.
So just get over it. I mean, you got to get there, right?
Yeah, and the good news is like I promise you, like any head trash you have about it, once you get a couple reps. Anyone know Shelby Miller? Does anyone know Shelby Miller from KW? You know Shelby? So I first met with Shelby, first video we ever did, 11 o'clock in the morning, she wanted to start drinking. She was a mess, right? So I turned the camera on and I didn't even tell her. I go, yeah. But what's that?
He said, I'd love to meet Shelby, really.
Yeah. So I turn the camera on and I didn't even tell her. I go, Shelby, quick question. What happens if like the appraisal comes in light? Like what happens? And she's like, well, then you got to renegotiate and blah, 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 blah. I was like, all right, cool, thanks. And I was like, all right, we're done. She's like, what? I was like, yeah, I started the camera. She's talking about something she knows, but because the camera's on, you have this head trash that like you got like this weird thing. You'll get over that. I promise you. You get reps, you'll get over it. Like it's just something that if you watch Shelby Miller, that's why I bring it up. She'll go live now in front of like, hey, Shelby here. Like her confidence is through the roof. Where I promise you, she wanted to drink at 11 in the morning one day. So don't let that stop you from getting started. Because here's the thing: your competition probably will stop too. You know what I mean? Like that's where my head goes. Is like I got into this space because I was like, I know where people quit. I know when it gets difficult where they stop at, and I used to fight, like I fought Muay Thai for a lot of times, so it's kind of the equivalent of like when you see blood on somebody, like I know they're gonna give up now. And now I have the upper hand, taking something very aggressive into the real estate space, but it's
I was gonna say, that was a super aggressive way to explain it.
Super aggressive, but that to me, that's that switch in my head where I go, this sucks, and if this sucks for me right now, this is where other people are quitting, so I have to keep going. Like I'm gonna push. And then in the book, there's a whole chapter called The Other Side of Suck. Like if you can get past the part that sucks, like the sticking point, like going for a run, and you're like, I wanna quit, this sucks. And then you keep going, do you not feel amazing after you're done? Like you feel like you achieved something? And that's where the goals and the gains are. This, I promise you, video for a lot of people sucks, but on the other side of it, is more business, which makes your life and your family benefit from, which is my motivator.
So real quick, we're going to take, this is just a list. Take these down. We have business owners highlighted because that's really who we're going to go after for the videos. But we also want to talk to politicians, sports heroes. Here, I want to impress upon you how powerful this is when you call somebody, right? So one of the things that we like to do is I'll call on Brian's behalf, right? So I'll go, hey, listen, this is Gene Volpe from the marketing department over at Community Connect. You probably have seen the best of Quakertown at some point, and our host, Brian Offner, I'm calling on his behalf. And they go, it doesn't even matter. They go, no, I don't think I've ever seen it, but it's my neighborhood, and why does he have somebody calling for him as the host? Okay, we got your name and number from one of your friends on Facebook, and we wanted to come out and highlight the business, no charge to you. We're going to do a short video expose, whatever. Brian would like to come out if we can schedule some time next Tuesday or next Wednesday. So think about the subconscious piece behind that where somebody's like, okay, this guy apparently has some kind of show. He's got an assistant calling me. They're going to produce product and marketing for me free of charge. I'll sit down and do a video. Let me find out a little bit more information, right? So what we do is I run a lot of podcasts and video things for different people. And somebody always says, I would love to have X, Y, and Z on my podcast. And I'm like, let me make the phone call, right? We reach out to anybody. Like, I don't care who it is. If it's the President of the United States and we try to get them on, a lot of people love to talk about themselves, and if they have the capacity, they're going to jump on your show, right? So I always go, let's call them. What are they going to say? Beat it? Yeah, I've been told to beat it before. Last night, my wife told me to beat it, right? Like, oh, that sounded awful, actually. I didn't mean it like that. That was terrible. Jesus. She said, get out. She was like, get out.
Send me that B-roll there. Thank you.
That
all
was
recorded.
terrible. Oh, my
Just
God.
make a
There's
little
always one or
notation in
two
the
of
video
those every time we
at
do
this
this.
point.
Oh, my God, that's terrible. I'm going to show that to my wife, too. She's going to be like, oh, my God. But anyway, think about the power behind using that assistant, right? Like, I'm not his assistant, but we go a little extra for each other to get. I want people to think he's a superstar, and then when people talk to him about me, I want the same thing. And when we can get him in front of a camera like that, we're just exposing their business.
And we have, and on my team, we both have teams, but Brindley on my team, who does a lot of the video content, like if you were to say, you know, you hired us or whatever to do these with you, Brindley would call from our team. She would call, and as we get the comments, remember I told you in the beginning, comment below any businesses, we would get those businesses, Brindley would look at them, put together a report, let me know which ones had the most Facebook followers. So it's not like all this stuff you have to necessarily do. If you want to run with it and do it, great. But there's things that we actually, a lot of this stuff I'll have Brindley do, all the way to where she makes the phone calls, lines up the appointment. All I got to do is give her a day. All right, third Thursday of every month, just load me up with 4 videos. I go out, we shoot a whole day of videos, and we have content for a month. So that's kind of how it all plays out in real time.
I just want to highlight this real quick because this is another little tactic we use for these pages, and you guys can use this in your own space, but it's about giveaways, right? So commercials we talk about, we could do those videos we were talking about. Ad spend, if you know how to advertise or boost on Facebook, it's same type of thing here. Bi-weekly contests. So I want to give you an example of how much runway we got out of one example of these videos. So there's a place in Westchester called Limoncello. We went in there, interviewed the general manager about the space. So there's one video we did, right? While I was there, I said, it was early on, and I said, I want to buy a $25 gift card. Now, I'll tell you that when people know who your channel is, they're going to give you $25 gift cards. Yeah, but we didn't start out like that. I was like, I'm not asking for anything for free. I'd like to buy a $25 gift card. Sure. So I go to the front, I buy a $25 gift card, I put it in an envelope, and I put Best of Westchester on it, and I give it back to the GM. And I go, listen, we're going to run a contest. I'm going to call you with the name of the person that wins. Will you hand that to them when they come in? Yeah, no problem. Okay, cool. So then what I do is I get on a Facebook Live, and I go, Gene Volpe from the Best of Westchester. I'm here with Brian Offner. He's just here for the looks. We're running a contest. Below, I want you to give me the name of your favorite Eagle from the last, I'm making it up as we fly, the name of your favorite Eagle, Philadelphia Eagle over the last 15 years, and we're going to pick randomly $25 gift card to Westchester. People like free crap, let alone gift cards, right? So people come, okay, yeah, oh, Brian Dawkins, Brent Selleck, whatever, and we get all this stuff. I get a random number generator, and I go, in 4 days from now, we're going to announce the winner live on Facebook. Piece of content number 3, right? From the same thing, now 3. And I go, okay, we run a random number generator. It goes number 62. I go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 62. Brian Offner's our winner. I get online. I go, we have a winner, Brian Offner. Do me a favor and reach out to me privately on this page, and I'm going to tell you how to get your gift card. Hey, where's my gift card? I go, do me a favor. Go over to Limoncello. They're holding it for you. Yo, Brian Offner's coming in for the gift card. Got it? Cool. I go, when are you going to go? Tuesday. Do me a favor. When you get there, here's what I need you to do. Get the gift card. Walk out front. Take the gift card. Hold it up. Take a selfie of you in front of the restaurant and send it back to me. You good with that? Yep. Post it for me. You good with that? Yep. Tag us in it. Okay. 4 pieces of content off that one $25 gift card and an interview like that. We got 9,000 views locally. I made that number up. It was like between 8, it could be up higher than that now. Between 8 and 10,000 views. It's pretty good. Nobody in this room for the most part is getting 10,000 views. So that 90% of the people in this room are not getting 10,000 views on any piece of content that they have. And remember now, these are all people that are local to the area you're doing business in, right? Not all of them, but 90% of them are people that went, yes, I like Best of Westchester because I have an affiliation there and I like these restaurants, and who's this guy giving out free stuff?
Yeah, and it's not a Facebook ad spend either. Like, Facebook ad spend's going to put the sponsor tag on it. I did a similar one where I was actually just, whatever reason, I was driving home and I was a little pissed off at paying Facebook to advertise my stuff. I was just like, had this moment. So I did a video in my living room. You could find it somewhere on my Facebook. I was like, hey, Brian Offner here. I need your help. If you don't mind just sharing this, letting people know, I don't want to pay Facebook, so I'm going to pay you guys. So for every share, I'm going to add $1 to the pot, and then I'm going to do a random draw, and we're going to pay somebody money. So instead of paying Facebook, I'm going to pay you guys. And I went and cut my lawn came back and it was up to like 347 shares. And I was like, oh, I still have like 4 more hours. So I'm like, this could get crazy. Like, so I ended up cutting it off. It was like 800 and some shares. And I mean, we're talking the organic reach of that was out of control. It was amazing how many people were like, hey, help Brian out, or hey, just want to let you know. So I have all these people sharing this post. Everyone's getting traffic. It's basically ripping Facebook a little bit. So I'm surprised they let it go the way it did. But at the end of the day, I had so many more eyeballs. Then I ended up, Kevin McCullough ended up winning, and I hit him up, and he's like, look, I don't want the money. He's like, just donate it. So I ended up giving it to KW was doing an event. KW Limerick was doing, and I gave it to them, and then they ended up giving it to the girls in the front. Like, it was awesome. Like, it just snowballed. Like, these things end up snowballing and creating a life of their own that you can all, as long as you're in the headspace of like, I'm just going to try to help other people, it'll all come back.
Wait, before you jump to this, I'm going to give one more example, which I think is funny. We used to run a page called The Best of Tri-Cities in Tennessee. And we had a broker there, Dana Berry, who gave away a $50 gift card to PetSmart. So these are the things that like you don't think about, and then when you watch it, you go, I got to recreate this over and over again. So Dana Berry, which is like luxury properties or something, decided to run a contest about it was predict the score between Virginia Tech and Virginia, which is obviously the college local teams down there where that is. Predict the score, and the closest wins this $50 gift card to PetSmart. Might have been 100. And then we start seeing these people. Oh, and I'm sorry, I remember what it was. Tell us the name of your favorite pet. So it was like, Rocky, Steven, Mark, whatever these pets' names were. And then all of a sudden you see, literally halfway down the page, you know what Picture People is? The place in the mall where you would go and take your kids and they would, right? What glamour shots, they would lay it out. Well, this lady posts a picture of her in Picture People, like laying on a carpet with her Yorkie. And I'm like, first of all, this is amazing, number one. And number two, here come the floodgates, right? And I'm like, people go nuts over pets. And all of a sudden, you get these pictures of these people with all their pets in every single scenario you can imagine. By the time it was done, we had 27,000 views on this post. It was out of control. It was so funny. But you got to think about the way that Facebook and these other sites look at this. Facebook goes, okay, Gene just put a post out on the page, super. And they go 1, 2, 3, organically, right? 3 people are using our platform. Wait, so somebody stopped and pulled a picture of themselves and loaded that. It took a little extra time, and they shared it. Okay, so Facebook is seeing that organic interaction, and they're going to give it more play now organically, right? So they're going to push it out in front of more people that maybe are dog lovers, right? Oh, it's a PetSmart thing. So by doing stuff like that and getting people to engage in that posting, you're going to reach more and more and more people. And one of the things we've always found is that people like their pets better than they like their own kids, right? So we utilize that in certain cases, especially if you're a pet lover. Like, you can help shelters and do all these things, right? If you love to do that, it's just an easy way to cheat, right?
Right. And think of it the same thing about real estate posts and posting selfies at the closing table or pictures in front of your sign and saying, who's next? Who else does that? Oh, Facebook says, oh, all these other people do it too. Let's put that post in front of them. It's all realtors. It's not your next deal. It's more realtors just liking your stuff. So I challenge you to go through a picture of your cat or your dog or your son or daughter and look how many likes that has and click on it and see how many of those would be potential clients versus the picture of your coming soon house and who like that. It's day and night. But I'm still saying there's a place for it. But it's not, you're not lead gen marketing when you post a picture of your sign.
It's like on your personal, personal website.
Yeah, personal page. Personal first page. When we're talking about posting, this one you could do on the best of, what he's talking about, like the contests and stuff. But when I'm talking about, so I talk about it in the book, but it's called like the IR theory. I is who I am as an individual, Brian Offner. This is what you're getting. This is who I am, right? And I wear a bunch of different roles. I'm a father, I'm a realtor, I'm a friend, I'm a son. Like, I have all these roles, right? But if on Facebook, you'll get to know all my roles. You'll get to know who I am as Brian Offner, not the realtor. Now, the minute you're just in a role all over Facebook, you're alienating all the people that may connect with you because my lunatic son that jumps off of everything, they're like, oh, I can relate, and they stay for that. You stay for my roles, and then you're there. When you need my role of realtor, you're still watching my stuff. If I just threw up real estate on you on my personal page, you'd be out. I'd be out.
So then you share it with everyone, just not your friends or who's associated with you, correct?
Yeah. Well, yes. I mean,
which one?
That's why you have a personal page
Yeah, you want to talk to the business.
This is the way I roll. This is the way listen, you guys are in real estate and you're beholden to certain guidelines for your license, right? I don't, right? Nobody's going to come and knock on my door and go, stop doing that, other than, again, my wife. She's the one that's going to go, don't do that, and I have to adhere to her rules, right? But for you guys, the one thing you have to be aware of is you're not allowed to sell your goods, i.e. real estate, on Facebook unless you have a business page, because you can't create any confusion around the fact that you may or may not be a real estate agent. So the way we get around that is we post all of your open houses on your Facebook business page that has your brokerage, right? As long as they see that, and then we share that to our personal page, because your business page is going to get 4% views. If you have 1,000 people, maybe 4 to 8 people will see it. On your regular page, a lot more people will see it. So I'm trying to get maximum exposure out of all of my channels. So the answer is this: yes, I'm posting all that stuff on my business page and then sharing it to my personal. I'm creating these things on the Best of Westchester, sharing it on my personal. I want everybody to know all of it all the time.
Yeah.
But again, are you just sharing it with who you were friends with on Facebook?
No.
Or you're sharing it with everyone?
Everyone.
Yeah, I mean, you want to do business with everyone. Think of like Facebook is people you know, Best of Quakertown are strangers, people you want to know and do business with, and YouTube's even a bigger audience of people that will be seeking out somebody and you want to make sure you're there. By creating all these contents and these links back to you will help your SEO and help YouTube people find you too.
Don't you find that the millennials aren't interested in Facebook anymore?
I don't know that I'm interested in working with them either. So, look, I mean,
do we have any millennials
think about
in here?
it? Like, cool. Like, not that I'm not, but it's like there's enough people there that are engaging. Look, I post my kids. You may be like, I hate kids. I'll never work with that guy. I will never have to know that. That's the beautiful thing about Facebook is if you're self-opting out of not wanting to work with me, cool. My feelings were never hurt because you never engaged with me. You're going to say something? The millennials like, yeah, dick. But like, no, so that's the point is like you're creating your channel. And if I'm only going to attract people to my channel that would want to work with me anyway. So, and if you don't, if you're like, what do you always say? If you don't like the jeans, I've bald hair and I'm ripped. Wait, you don't say that.
No, I say it.
All right. So like you don't like he has bald hair, then you're like, I'm not going to call that guy. He's like, good. He's never going to call me
vet
anyway.
yourself. I mean, look, I would say this way: if you don't know who I am and you want to get together with me and talk about business or whatever, and you decide at the table while I'm buying you dinner that you don't like me, I would have rather got that out of the way when you were watching me on video. Right? Vet yourself out. I got plenty of friends. Like, I don't mean that. It comes off so aggressive. Like, it's cool. I got enough stuff to do. If you don't like something about me online or you don't like the way I come across, that happens. I get it. I have people I went to high school. They're like,
yeah.
I don't like that, dude.
That speaks to like the authenticity piece that I'm talking about, like who I am as the individual. I'm not stepping into this role of realtor and then trying to be something that appeases everybody. Like that's exhausting. I talk about light and heavy a lot. Like if it's light, it's right. Like I do this in walkthroughs. When I show a house, I go, hey, we're going to walk through this house. It's either going to feel light or heavy. Let me explain what that means. If you start seeing things you don't like, that's heavy. You'll feel it. It's not going to get lighter. If you're walking through and you're like, this is great, boom, just checking all these boxes. The light is right, let's go, let's move forward, let's make an offer on it, right? It's that simple. And then people walk through, Brian, it's starting to get heavy. I'm like, all right, let's go. And I'm at the lockbox already. And they're like, it ain't getting lighter. I don't waste your time with something that's heavy. People are heavy. You work with people. They become heavy. Relationships get heavy. I talk about it, the quicker you can move away from heavy, the easier your world is. And like, for me, in business, transaction coordinating, I've had one from day one. It's like, that's heavy to me. I know I'm not good at it. So why would I try to do something that's heavy to me? My transaction coordinator, Kelly, loves it. She couldn't do what I do. You know what that makes us? A great team. I'm doing everything I'm good at that's light, that comes easy. Then I hand the stuff that's heavy to someone that's light to them. And then they hand it to someone that's light to them. And the client experience is that nothing got jacked up because someone had to do something they didn't want to do. And it's the same thing like, when we're talking about this marketing stuff, like some of this stuff that we're talking about, you're going to be like, that's heavy. I don't want to do it. Don't worry. We'll find someone that it's light to them. I'm not asking you to edit videos. We have someone that loves editing videos. Like, I don't want to be in front of the camera. All right, well, we'll work through that. But, the interview process is not that hard. We can get through it. So that's the biggest premise is like, figuring out your rock star moment, right? I always talk about like stage is set, the mic's up there, you're walking out and doing your thing. What do you enjoy doing that's your highest and best return that makes you money? You might say, hey, I love listing houses. Great. How do we find you get more listings, right? I love showing buyers houses. You just have to identify like what's the motivation and what's the goal for doing all of this, because at the end of the day, we'll track it down to real activity, real dollars, and we'll show you that in a minute.
Yeah. I want to talk about a couple more tricks. This is what the pictures were before that you couldn't see. These are basically the headshots on each of those pages. So if you click that QR code, it will take you to that Facebook page. And you might say, well, why would I have that on the Facebook page? Well, we've created these seals to create door stickers, flyers, and email signatures. So when we go out to one of our local businesses and say, hey, you've been the best of Westchester for 3 months, or we're doing this interview, we want to give you these door stickers that are backwards so they can stick it on the glass door that you see when you walk in. And we have this certificate that costs us 3 cents to make that sits on the front desk. They're the best of Westchester. So I always say this, if you're watching the best of Westchester, and I'm at the host of the Best of Westchester, and you're following the content, and I keep saying to you, and if you need marketing services in your neck of the woods, you know who the Best of Westchester is. Subconsciously, you're now thinking, well, there's only one guy in Westchester that does marketing. Same thing with real estate. And if you have any real estate needs in your space, you know that I'm the guy up and around Westchester, give me a call, right? Who's the best real estate agent in Westchester?
You
the
know
guy
what I do
that's
with
telling you.
All of my FISBOs, I just send them a link to the best of videos. Like FISBOs, like like if it's for sale by owner, I just literally text them and invite them into the best of page. Because what do they think realtors do? They take. Realtors just take. They just want to take my equity. They want to take my money. And I'm like, here, I'm giving away. You need anything? You need any help? Here's a seller's disclosure. Make sure you have this buttoned up. You have any questions, give me a call. In the meantime, check out this restaurant. They're awesome. Here's a video of me interviewing them. And they're like, it's a totally different spin. It's got me 2 listings on FISBOs where one I helped the guy out, the other one I sold it strictly from just taking a totally different approach to.
If they don't ask you to show it, to put it up, would you post that? If someone said to you, will you put my FISBO on the best of?
No, I wouldn't post it. No, and I wouldn't.
That's up to you, though. I mean, it's your channel.
No, I would reach out to my buyers that I had and see if anyone was interested, but I wouldn't put it on there. Yeah, because I don't want to tell people, hey, the market, I'm endorsing you selling your house on your own, so I wouldn't do that. And I have a lot of, as you'll see, these are people reaching out to me. Spot the Carry, this is a martial arts guy. I think there was even a realtor reached out to me one time, like, I'm like, sorry, like it's ran by a realtor. Like other realtors will see what you're doing in your market and want to be on the page. So this is what ends up happening, right? In the beginning, you're out there trying to get business owners to get on the page. I'm at the point now where they're messaging me to get on the page. Like they're reaching out to me. Where's the one with the guy?
The trolley barn, right?
Yeah, the trolley barn.
I think it was
might be on the other page.
No. Oh, it's on the next one.
Yeah, it might be on the next page. So the trolley barn, which we did spotlight, Chris. So, hey, Brian, I like your company spotlights. He owns a trolley barn, and a couple of our vendors were asking to reach out to you to figure out how they can get spotlighted onto it, right? This guy owns a distillery. He's well connected. He does a lot of real estate investing. I've sat down and had drinks with him, and I went and spotlighted his entire organization. Like, I have that connection now. I could like literally go to him, and there's events. I could set up tables. I could do whatever I want. Not whatever I want, but you know what I mean? Like I've made the deposit in his world to where I talk about deposits and withdrawals a lot. Like we're going out making deposits. So when he says, if you want a $25 gift card, it's so, I could go, just the opportunities, once you have relationships with all the business owners, you can go out and say, hey, we're doing a fundraiser. We're going to be raising money, but do you mind donating a $25 gift card? Yep, boom. And then, dude, you just go, I can walk right down the whole town and just pick up gift cards and whatever we want for events.
We walked out of Artillery Brewery, and we did an interview with Artillery Brewery in Westchester. Cool spot. And we did the interviews. We did beer flights. I was actually feeling a little dizzy when we left. We did beer flights, and before we left, he gave us 4 growlers, 2 T-shirts, and two 4-packs of their craft brew to take home because he was grateful. Yeah. And when I went to Buddy's Burgers and Fries, he was like, I'm feeding you guys. And we're like, no, I got a 14-year-old at home, a 17-year-old, I'm eating, and Trevor, who you saw there, needs to eat. I'm like, I'm paying for it. Like, so, that's why we're here, to help.
Think about what you're doing, though. Like, think about it as you being a realtor. Has anyone ever called you and said, hey, I want to market your business, help you grow a little bit, and hopefully you do some more business? Like that just doesn't happen, right? No one calls you. You're always like, for how much? Like, what's the kick? But if you're going to business owners in your town, be like, hey, I'm another small business owner in this community. What I've done is I actually created this page where all the community comes together, and I'd love to spotlight and share what you do to everybody, and hopefully you can get more business. I spotlighted a massage therapist in there. She got 7 new clients. She hit me up. She loves it. She's going to be selling soon. Her and her fiance, Chris, are going to be looking to buy another house. She's like, Brian, I'm going to use you. Like, thank you so much. Just because you showed someone you care. Again, it's all about timing. She didn't need to sell right now. She doesn't need to buy, but I made that deposit. I helped drive some business to her compared to her other realtor friend that did what? I'm here when you need me. Like, we're out there just, and look, I'm not even tracking whether she comes back or not. I just know we've made an impact in the community, and that's, that always pays itself back.
How long are your interviews?
Well, it depends. So I try to edit them down. It really depends on, you're going to get some business owners that don't shut up. And you're just like, holy crap, this is going to be a lot of editing. Like if you interviewed him and I, it would be really long. But then you get ones that are, 2 minutes. It's short and sweet. They're not very talkative, but you got to pull some stuff out of them. There's no right or wrong answer to how long they are. It's just.
So how long, because you do lose an audience when they're too long. So when you post them on Facebook per se, how low do you edit that to? Like how?
On Facebook?
Yes.
There's no I'm not plugging it into some algorithm because there's a couple things that I care about just more than you even watching it, is you clicking on it and watching a little bit, and then whatever the caption is that made you stop and look at it, like check out the new massage place in Trumbowersville, right? And you click on it, you watch a little bit. I don't care if you watch the entire thing. You now know there's a new Trumbowersville massage therapist, and my name and my page was associated with it. Now, there's some people that'll watch the whole thing. There's some people that won't. But what Gene always says, like with, when you're posting a listing, right? You're like, well, it's 4 minutes long. No one's going to watch a 4-minute video. Well, you're not buying the house. So yeah, it doesn't matter if I think the video shouldn't be 4 minutes. The people buying it who are making the decision to get a babysitter and put their dogs up to drive across town may want to watch a 4-minute video, decide if it's a house that they want to go look at or not. So I would say there's no right or wrong answer. Minimal 2 minutes probably. I probably wouldn't post a 12-minute video. But most of them, we can edit them down. We usually do an intro, an interview, a little cut into the second. Like say it's a restaurant. We talk about the front of the house, we talk about the bar, we talk about the back of the house. And it'd be quick cuts. Hey, what's your favorite meal? How long you been here? Great. Tell us about your favorite drink. What's the go-to, right? And then, hey, tell us about the best, food. What's your favorite thing? Great. All right, hey guys, come check out this place. Boom, boom, boom. You hit it, you're in and out, and you can edit that down depending on how long the conversation goes.
And you'll get better. Like you'll see when we go into space, I already know because I've done so many of these. I go, you sit here, hold on, a little higher, got it, okay, good. Now here's what I want you to do for the first 30 seconds. And it makes it easier to edit on the back end for my editors, which means quicker turnaround for me. So like you'll find tips and tricks as you do it to make it really, really simple for you, the host, the guest, if you're the host yourself, right? How many people, anybody in here a craft beer or history buff? History? All right, so just picture this, if you loved craft beer. That artillery place I was talking about.
Shall we even go with history?
No, it's part of it. No, it's the two things together.
Can we just say the history of craft beer?
No, that's what it is. So Artillery Brewery was named by these guys. Every beer is named after a part of the Revolutionary War. So, right. So I like history. I'm not a buff. I love beer. And when they did, it's a 22-minute video. I watched the whole thing because the content was so intriguing to me. And it was about 2 things that I love that I watched the whole thing. And I'm here now 6 months later talking about Artillery Brewery in Westchester.
From a 22-minute video.
Totally depends on the audience. And I would say let the audience tell you what they want. So put out the 2-minute, put the 6-minute out, put the goofy one out, put the serious one out, and watch the analytics. The one that gets shared the most, why? Was it because it was 22 minutes or was it because there was a dog in it, right? Figure that out and then recreate that over and over again, right? Right? All right, so we talked about that. Here's what I would say to you right now. Super simple. We could go through. If you guys want to talk to us offline, we'll tell you about the equipment we use for some of this stuff. You can look at the video and find out. We talked about this in an earlier session. Yeah, I'll send the link on Amazon. It's called a Rode mic. It's a mini mic me. It's simple. Don't worry about it. Send me an email, and I'll send you the link to go buy it.
Right here. You'll see in a second.
Yeah, it's up here. It's called a Rode, R-O-D-E, Video Mic Me. I think, or Video Me Mic, something like that. It's $54, but it helps increase the sound on your audio wonderfully. So your phone, maybe a ring light, a stand to put it on. That's it.
Yeah. And you could even take...
your first video will be 9 million times better than most realtors doing it right now. And then as you get better... Yeah, no, you won't need a stabilizer. Just put it on the table. Nah. Now, I got a little selfie stick that opens up into a tripod. So if I was sitting here with her, I would just put it right here, make sure we're both in the frame, and just record it.
What if you're walking around like showing it?
Then I would use the stabilizer.
Well, yeah, you could use a stabilizer, and then you're into some editing tricks where we could do voiceover.
What's the ASO is probably the best one?
One we just got, but that's
the
for
DJI has one, I think.
Yeah, we'll say
there's another one called like OSSO, O-S-S-O. Yeah, you can look at me.
Well, we'll do a QR
Google
code
me,
here.
You'll find me, I promise you.
Is there a QR code coming up they can get on the schedule?
Yeah.
How do you order lunch now or dinner? That's like all we could do that. Boom, QR code.
Yeah. You'll find me. Yeah. 100%. Yep. Listen, Gene Volpe at Gmail. That's it. That's it. Easy enough. Yep. So here, what do you want to do here?
There's books here. You can hit the QR code, whatever. If you're interested.
Listen,
whatever.
If you like what he had to say, the book's awesome. I wrote a little intro into at the beginning of it.
Yeah, it's the main premise of the book. Like I'm 43 with a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old, right? I take the kid hustle very serious. I'm like, so there's 3 areas that I'm focusing on: business, family, and personal health. I do every one of them every single day. I've hung out with my kids this morning. I went to the gym this morning. After the gym, showered up, hung out with my wife a little bit before I head out. When I come home, I'll hang out with my kids. Like I prioritize like business around those things, not those things around my business. You know what I mean? So as I've been through that, and if you could grind from 7 to 7, make a bunch of money, but if your relationships suck, you're not in good health, it's all for nil. So, the book was written because we do a lot of speaking. I was speaking to a large EXP group. I remember my wife hearing it. She's talked about the light versus heavy. A lot of people like the light versus heavy. And my wife is in the back room on the phone. She's like, hey, Brian, who wrote that book about the light versus heavy? I want to tell my friend about it. I was like, I didn't write it yet. She's like, that's your stuff? I was like, yeah. So there was enough stuff where we talk about a lot of things. My background's in behavioral health and family counseling. So I take a very behavioral approach to everything I do. And so when we're talking about, being our authentic selves and pushing that out into the social spaces, you'll see all those things about me. The fact that, I prioritize health, I prioritize my family, and business. I take it all very serious, but I'm not changing any of it for anybody. So if a client wants to call me at 9:30 and I say it's family time and they say they don't care, I'm like, boom, later. Like, I'm not working with you. Like, I just work from that vibration, but it works that I just attract people that completely understand that. And you guys ever have that like client where like your phone rings and you're like, shit, I don't want to answer that? I haven't had that in years. Other than me? No. I like when he calls. Like I had one client that was like an absolute game changer. Like one client from my credit business, when I was holding my son, the phone rang, I was tensed up. I was like, it was a call I didn't want to take. I took it, he's yelling at me. My son starts crying because he feels my tension. I give my son to my wife. I walked outside. I mother effed him up and down the driveway. I fired him. And this was like literally $100,000 client. Like I was making 6 figures off of this one person. I walked inside, told my wife, I go, I gotta figure some shit. Let's figure some stuff out. And she's like, what happened? I go, I just fired so-and-so, and I got to figure something out. And you know what spawned from that? I go, all right, I've never messed with Facebook or social media. I hired Gerardo, my buddy of mine. I said, you're going to follow me around with a camera, and I'm just going to post on social media, get on some Gary Vee, Grant Cardone stuff, and see what happens. A year later, I have Leading Apex Media, and I'm helping realtors do what I did to triple my business because I was like, all right, if you can connect with your audience and push it out there, more people will work with you. I got so good at helping realtors grow their business that I was like, let me test it in my market. I handed out, if you talk to Shelby, you talk to Mike Howell, Andrew Himes, I handed out over $3 million worth of business in 2008 and going into 2009, just handing them out. Like, because I was doing this in my social spaces, getting leads and being like, here you go. Just at the time, I was still working with community mortgage team. What's that?
8 and 9, 2008 and 9?
18, 18, what did I say?
You said
18, 19. So,
Say, this is way.
sorry, 18.
Model.
18 and 19.
18
sorry.
and 19.
I got my license in June of 2019. So I came back, and then my first year, maybe 4 million, 5 million, and I think we'll hit over 10 million this year. So again, I didn't even want to be a realtor. Wasn't even. I don't even mentally look at myself as a realtor. I'm a marketer, and I know that if you take these things that I'm talking about and do it, I tell everyone, teams we work with, it's 4 to 5 million more in business. Like, if you're not doing it and you're doing it, you'll do more business because of it, because it worked so much in my market that I was like, I should probably become a realtor. And I did. And now I do a lot of real estate investing too. I talk about that in a book, buying, holding, flipping. I got Airbnbs, the whole nine. So like we live a lot of the stuff that we're helping and preaching our clients to do. I was with a client today in Philly on a listing, and he's like, hey, after this, can we talk about, like, he's a Philly cop. He wants 4 more years, and then he wants to start buying properties. I was like, I got you. Like, we could talk about it now, and there's things that we can do to position them to be able to get into the real estate space and investing. But I sat there as like their friend, talking to them, and their house just went on the market today. So it's just, figuring out who you are. I mean, most of us have that figured out, right? And then who we want to be in the social sphere. And I would just say, just be yourself. Understand all the different roles that you have, share them out in the marketplace. People are going to resonate with those roles, and you'll do more business because of it. And this isn't like a blueprint, like, attacking your potential in business. It's not like me saying I've got it all figured out. This is something this kind of a blueprint of things and that I do, that I'm like psycho focused on, like every night journaling, analyzing my day. What do I want to accomplish tomorrow? Just holding myself to like a high standard of potential, because that's where the gap is between financial struggle and no struggle, is attacking that potential. And then the key is getting there, and then still, I mentally start at 0 every month. So even if like financially you're fine and you're like, I don't really need to do it, I would say it's very irresponsible of somebody to have the ability to do more and not do it. If you're like, I'm good, like that to me is the most irresponsible thing, because the people in my organization that I pay rely on me to attack my potential, to create the opportunities for other people to be working and create opportunities for their families. So that's where, for me, is even when you get to a point where you're not worrying about money necessarily, it's how do I stay motivated in those moments to keep attacking and doing more. And I think that's where wealth comes in, when you're attacking your potential beyond what you need on a monthly, yearly basis. So that's it.
Listen, buy the book. It's awesome. And I will tell you, this is another reason we complement each other. He wrote a book. I can't even read.
Yeah.
How did the two of you know each other? Were you friends before? Or?
I don't even like him. I don't even consider him a friend. It's like
You're assuming a lot. You're assuming a lot here. No, we actually met each other at Keller Williams Limerick back in 2017.
Yeah, so you would think we've known each other a lot longer. It's even goofy to us, but we're just like I said, I was doing content when I created Leading Apex. I'd offer realtors to help them create content for free. Like literally, it was like, here, create content, and if you go create a buyer, do you mind if Randy does the pre-qual? I mean, that was like literally, and still is, like I could help you create new business. So from a marketing standpoint, this is what I hate about marketing companies. Like, we get like people bombard us all the time, and my brain goes, man, if this person was so good at creating real estate leads, they would just be doing all the real estate. Like, I still to this day don't understand like marketers where it's like, well, you want me to pay for it, but you didn't even prove out that you could do it. Well, I'm standing here saying that like everything I'm telling you to do, I did it, and it's working, and I still do it, and I created a whole real estate division and team doing it. Now I'm just helping other realtors do it. And there's if you go in here, you jump on a 30-minute call, there's ways we could talk about us doing it with you. There's ways as far as the expense, having that be offset with some partnerships and stuff like that. So there's... or
we'll teach you.
Or we'll just teach you. If you want to just run with it and do it, we'll show you everywhere. And again, like nothing, I would love for someone to come back and say, yep, we're implementing it, we're doing it. Can we jump on a 30-minute Zoom call so you guys can just guide us on the next steps? Or if you say, look, I want to do it, but I need you guys to help me out, blah, blah, blah. Like, we have a full-time videographer, editors, the whole nine. we can help you in every which way. It doesn't matter.
So that's the link to our
Point is just
calendar?
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wanna
if
get
you
on the
click that
calendar?
link, it'll goes right to our calendar.
No. No, on the QR code I gave you earlier, it's just me. The QR code, that QR code is the two of us. So you get both of our schedules, that's why. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? I mean, that's it for us. I know, thank you guys all for staying. I know some people wanted to jump out of here a little bit earlier because you got stuff to do, but. Anybody going to the
Just
Sixers
gotta
game?
get through Q4 and Q1, and it'll be better. So use these downtimes to be pushing the marketing piece, because
Yeah.
while other people are scrambling, you could be out doing deals.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you letting us do this.